A slew of measures, a slew of instructions in the recent past to tackle the pollution in Delhi, but these desperate times perhaps ask for such desperate measures. Joining us on debate number one is Pinky Anand, Additional Solicitor General, Dr. Sambit Patra, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Sharmistha Mukherjee, National Spokesperson for the Congress, Partha, who is the India Director and South India Liaison for Clean Air Asia, is with us in our studio, Kailash Vasdev, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, and Vimlendu Jha, who is an environmentalist and founder of Swecha. Pinky Anand, I want to first ask you, is this the only way out, that eventually you have to take these drastic measures, and diesel, considering that it's one of the main contributors to pollution in Delhi, eventually will have to be phased out completely, diesel vehicles?
Ultimately, Padmaja, you have to face the fact that there are several contributors to what has happened today. But is this the only way out to say ban diesel? No, this is not the only way. But this emergency situation has created so much chaos and heartburn. The kind of reports that are coming about the health of people, of children, of elderly. Today you have to take emergency steps. So there's no question about that. And it is worthwhile to experiment with some things. The problem, however, of course, can be that this could have been a phasing out kind of operation and given some time, because government is coming out with a number of alternate proposals. For example, the central government has come out with ethanol. It has come out with biogas. It has notified electric hybrid vehicles. We are even trying a project of retrofitting on buses. There is policy of scrapping which is being taken up. So there are some horizons, but the problem is the short term, the medium term and the long term. In the short term, the way things have happened as far as today is concerned, the smog which is around, there seems to be nothing else possible but to go ahead with certain very quick jump issues, and this is possibly one of those.
But Pinky Anand, opening comments very welcome, but the fact is that Partha, the smog in Delhi, it's something which we know, we've associated with. Decades have passed. Correct. And the smog has remained. It's only today, because of a court taking cognizance, that there is this entire mood. Otherwise, nobody would have bothered.
Well,
that you may be. I mean, may I just say this before Sambit can respond?
The court has been a little active on it, and I really appreciate the court decision on that. I think it is a great decision, but I think it is a logistical nightmare. I really do not know how actually it is going to be implemented. I find it very, very difficult. Even the odd even, it's a great move. It's a great move to remove 50% vehicles off the road. But the point is that how do you do that? But my issue is that, which I would like to bring in here, that transport is not only one of the contributors. It is just contributing about 25 to 40%. Why are we not looking at the other contributors, which are very, very heavy contributing to the smog, especially in Delhi?
Because exactly, and are we getting our priorities wrong in that sense? And on that, I want to get in Kailash Vasdev and Vimlendu Jha both. Are the minimal polluters really being penalized here at the cost of the convenience of the Aam Aadmi? Of course, the argument made is everyone has to make a few sacrifices, but then you're looking at the sources of about 25% of pollution, but the bigger polluters are simply getting away. No one's talking about them, Mr. Kailash Vasdev.
See, the whole situation today is that in all our policies which are framed every 5 years, we have looked at pollution and environment as an issue to be looked into. We have dozens of authorities to look into all these matters. Only thing is we allocate a couple of thousand crores a year which are not utilized. Let's take some figures. The Supreme Court has a camper fund, 30,000 crores is lying there for afforestation, compulsory afforestation. Your annual budgets are in the range of 2,000 to 3,000 crores for development of green belts. You have a national action plan on the environment which has got a plan of planting 5 million hectares of forest land. Nothing has happened. You have myriad acts, thousands of positions, but nothing actually takes place on the ground. Addressing the 75% which are the sources of other pollution, you have building activity, you have afforestation, you have mining, you have air pollution, you have water pollution, you have God knows how many things, but there is no address on the ground. Please ask the government how many people have been challaned or petitioned under the Air Pollution Act, Water Pollution Act, Environment Pollution Act. How many challans have taken place on the ground? With regard to vehicular pollution, you have diesel as a problem. You may have diesel as a problem. I mean, today diesel has changed from the old non-sulfuric, to the sulfuric levels.
Exactly.
But the fact
is, this seems
we
to
are
be
not
more of a
addressing the
knee-jerk
essential
reaction
problems.
when the substantive issues still remain unaddressed. Shamishta Mukherjee, would you agree? This is more of a knee-jerk cosmetic measure.
No, I'm just reading from the order of the Green The order of the Green Tribunal says as an interim measure till the next date of postponing subject to hearing all concerned parties, we direct that diesel vehicles of more than 10 years of age as already directed, as well as new diesel vehicles would not be registered in the NCT of Delhi. Now, please tell me, you are registering a couple of thousand two-wheelers every month in this city. You have 57 lakh two-wheelers. Aren't there pollutants over here with the oil and the petrol mix?
Exactly.
What are you going to do about that?
Exactly.
You have
Shamisha Mukherjee, would you
57
like
lakh
to take that
two-wheelers
question?
in the city.
The easy fixes
sure
are being dealt
this
with.
is all knee-jerk.
The real issues no one is talking about, Sharmistha Mukherjee and Sambit Patra. Both the politicians on the panel. Can you please take that question?
No, who is it for first?
I have another caveat here.
Welcome the effort and the continuous move of the NGT.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
go on.
Was the question asked to me? The audio is not very clear.
Yes, Mr. Go on, please.
Yeah, so while we really appreciate and welcome the move and the continuous effort of the NGT to really try to control pollution, which has really assumed an emergency situation, but we also have to see the intent and the capability of the government, that what they are doing actually about it. I would just like to point out to a few facts. On 17th of February, just 3 days after assuming power, the Aam Aadmi government issued an order. It actually withdrew the requirements for pollution requirements for the small and medium scale industries. Then on 28th of April, there was again an order by the NGT, a complete ban on burning garbage and waste in open. But there hasn't been any implementation of that. On 29th of July, there was a High Court order banning diesel cabs on Delhi Road. Again, there hasn't been any implementation. So you can make policies, but what about the implementation?
Yep.
The same with odd and even. You know, as a concept, it's good, but without a lack of proper transport infrastructure, without proper last mile connectivity, it is just going to create more inconvenience.
But, you know,
but of course, we have to take
with due
drastic
respect,
measures.
yes, valid
and for
points
that,
that you're
we
raising.
just can't do knee-jerk reactions. You know, we have to think in long terms.
We've not got the Aam Aadmi Party joining us yet, Sharmistha, going across to...
This is a concerted effort of the state and the central government.
True.
We need to leapfrog to the Euro 6 norms.
You know, it's nice. It's nice to listen. It's nice to listen to the Congress party speak about this with so much of passion. But when they were in governance, what did they do is a question which will always come back to you, and it will always go across to Mr. Sambit Patra also, Dr. Sambit Patra, sir, because this is something which the central government should have embraced and said, all right, even before you think about odd even formula, let's try and do something about the national capital. Let's stop all sale of vehicles for the next 90 days. Where was that initiative coming in from the centre? What is it that the central government is going to do? And will Delhi now become a blue? Okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to work with Arvind Kejriwal, or are you going to punch holes in all the theories and the formulas they're going to put up?
I believe as far as pollution is concerned, let's not politicize pollution. I mean, it's not your pollution or my pollution, it's our pollution, and we have to tackle it together. So let's not fight with pollution. I mean, let's not fight against each other, let's fight the pollution out of our city. I mean, having said this, I would just, the guiding principle in the fight against pollution should be, we are at odd against pollution, but we should be even to the people and the citizens. Remember, yes, we have to fight the pollution, yet we have to see the citizens also
love the punchlines and the openers, Dr. Patra, but let's get to the brass tacks. How are you going to implement this? How are you going to work with the government and make sure, what have you done to tell the government, listen, 80,000 trucks are passing through the capital, let's try and push them out of the national capital.
Now let's not be in tearing hurry. These are academic issues, and we should hear this out patiently rather than fighting it out.
These are not academic issues. Sorry, these are not academic issues.
This is a real issue, sir. This is a real burning issue.
You asked me what the central government. My God, please.
Yes,
I do not believe that today the news hour should be usual fighting self. Today we should enumerate things. We should not be shouting over each other. That's my humble submission. You asked me few points as to what the central government has done or is doing. Let me enumerate those points, and thereafter I would be quiet. Number one, as far as the diesel vehicles are concerned, Mr. Gadkari on August 13, 2015 in a meeting stated that, well, yes, he demanded to the manufacturers that please shift your focus from manufacturing diesel-fueled vehicles to cleaner fuels, as Pinky ji was rightly stating, biodiesels, bio-CNG, hybrid and electricity. Second point is,
what is this government going to do to introduce clean diesel into India, sir? That is with 10 ppm, which has now become an international standard.
Already in India,
the cleanest diesel available is 50 ppm. And that too in certain select cities and certain select petrol bunks.
I'll tell you, the biggest step that this government has taken in 2014 was deregulating the diesel prices. And that's the reason as to why, if you would look into the statistics of the diesel vehicle, in fact, it peaked. The sale of diesel vehicles peaked in 2014.
In fact, Dr. Partha, the environmentalists on the panel want to comment on the statements that you've made so far, and I think Vimlendu Jha wants to make an opening comment right now. Let's take it one at a time. Vimlendu Jha, your initial reactions. Has enough been done?
Padmaja, yes, so the first thing, that had it been any other city where the pollution levels would have reached this level, the city would have shut down. So please understand that, of course, we're talking about not a normal situation, and therefore there will not be practical solution to a situation like this. One. Two, when I'm hearing these political parties speak about it, this Delhi's air quality level is not an overnight phenomena. Governments after governments, parties after parties have ruled Delhi and NCR, and still things are the same. At the end of the day, for Mr. Patra or for Mrs. Mukherjee to actually come and say, oh well, they had done enough, me as a citizen, of course, it's an occasion for me to shout at them. It's an occasion for me to ask them that where did you actually spend my money? How am I actually breathing this polluted air? And at the end of the day, what is Swachh India? What is Swachh Bharat? At the end of the day, is it just about billboards? Can I ask Mr. Patra that through Swachh Bharat, is there a Swachh Delhi? And does it actually mean Swachh Pani and Swachh Hawa also?
Yes, Dr. Patra.
Has Delhi's air changed in last 1 year? Nothing actually has changed, right?
May I come in for a minute?
So for you to actually come forth and say, well, a lot of these things we have done, and if it hasn't shown result, then there's, of course, you have failed. So
and in fact, before you answer that, Sambit Patra, Mr. Kailash Vasdev and Partha both also want to come in. Mr. Vasdev,
I want to come in for a minute.
Yes,
our Delhi destruction of the environment is essentially the removal of green cover in the environment. I have here a photograph which was taken, and I want to show it to you. It's here, right behind us. This is Delhi, Ghaziabad and the environments. You will see on this photograph that the green cover doesn't exist in these areas. Ghaziabad has got no green cover. Noida is losing it. Dwarka is gone. Delhi's green cover, which we claim to be 25%, I don't know how. I don't see it more than 6 to 7% in actual terms. If this is going to be the destruction of the city, please see the Yamuna area. The Yamuna area is now becoming a colony for unauthorized use. The river is gone. The Najafgarh drain, which is on the flip side, has also vanished. Now, this is a true, authentic photograph given to us by the Air Force at our request and presented to the Delhi High Court. This is a visual presentation of the destruction of the greens of the city. Whether you put in a ban of any kind till you don't control building activity and the dust flowing out of it, your particulate matter restrictions are going to continue.
Correct. And
there's
this
going to be no effect.
Is going to talk about, because this is going to require
I put it now to the politicians and the bodies to answer this.
Let's do away with this. Let's have an odd even.
No, absolutely not. Because the thing is like this, that although these are all
I'm coming in one for another minute,
dangerous. We cannot actually ban vehicles, because most of these trucks, okay, so Delhi gets about 1,15,000 trucks every day which are coming and entering Delhi. But the point is like this, that nearly 50% of these trucks are bringing commodities for the Delhi. So how can we ban them? We cannot just ban them. What we could have done.
Dealt with. Those trucks
no. There is it is not been dealt with. I'll tell you.
Not all. Delhi governments at the end of the day, right?
During the Asiad, Delhi got something called the suburban rail. During the 82, Delhi got something like the suburban rail, which was carrying a lot of people. Now in 2003, suddenly, all of a sudden, what happened? That the suburban rail accesses has to be stopped.
Okay, Pinky Anand wanted to respond to you. Yes, Pinky Anand?
I'm sorry, I should have waited, but nonetheless, to make the only point that in fact we had insisted that as a short-term measure, one of the possibly the best solutions would be to divert the non-destined commercial diesel vehicles, and that too which are non-BS4, from Delhi and be diverted from other traffics. Alternative routes were suggested, they were accepted, and in addition an environmental compensation cost was levied on the trucks which did ultimately come through Delhi for any reason whatsoever, to deter them from coming. From the statistics that have come forth on record, approximately, just let me speak. Yes, just allow me for 2 minutes.
It's not only the implementation. Who pays for those taxes?
9,000 trucks.
The common man. Aam Aadmi is paying those money.
May I? It doesn't matter. Today, no, I'm sorry. Who it passes on to is the most irrelevant of issues at this point of time. The question is how to save the situation.
No, it's very relevant. You've got to use it for environment.
I don't think you can value it in terms of real value. I'm sorry. Not at all.
No.
Yes, and the money.
Why should it be a short-term fix?
Allow me to say 2 sentences and then maybe.
Yes.
Okay, give me 2 minutes to just say so. The point is, first of all, this compensation cost has been levied. The cost is collected for purposes of benefiting the environment and being utilized for that purpose. Records indicate that 9,000 trucks per day have been diverted out of Delhi. That itself is a major achievement. Please understand. Today you have to deal with the position of how to improve it at an emergency rate.
No, 9,000.
No, the figures indicate, I'm sorry, allow me, may I answer?
Very big number.
No, it is not lakh and 15. I'm sorry, it doesn't may be big or not big. The question is, today the feature is not, first of all, it's not 1,15,000. The figures indicated on record. I do not confirm the same, but this is what is said by the police authorities, is that ultimately it is in the range of about 65 to 75,000 per day. That is the range given by the police. Out of that, even if you have a major chunk, it may not be, it could be higher, I accept with what you say. There is a problem on implementation, even that is under contest. The attempt is to try to get it out of the way, but you will have various issues.
For example, you talked
please
about
understand another factor. In environmental
very good, but please try to understand the diesel cess which has been lying with the government, which has been collected for last 5 years. What has the government done? The government should have bought buses.
I think
2008. It was 2008.
Yes, it was already calculated that
Delhi should have 2008 buses. No, I'm not blaming you. Please try to understand. Delhi government should have bought 2000 in 2008, 2010 around 8,000 buses. Today the need of Delhi is 13,000 buses.
What is the way forward?
5,000, 6,000 buses.
What is the way forward?
The way forward is implementing the public transport and
Delhi government should have done a lot of what you said.
Pinky Anand,
but in the meantime, what do we do? We just sit back.
No, the reason why we are not saying that efforts are not being made, but these are all quick fixes. These are all short-term fixes. You know, we say
and they will not fix the result.
Sharmistha, can you hear me? I think.
No, you're right.
All right, we go across Sharmistha. Saurabh Bharadwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party also with us. Saurabh Bharadwaj.
The government is working on that.
No, Saurabh Bharadwaj, good evening. You know, you've just joined us a little late on the discussion, but the questions that we're asking is very straightforward.
Good evening.
Now, you know, banning diesel, perhaps phasing out diesel vehicles, long-term solution, perhaps a very stringent extreme measure, but why limited to only cars? What is being done about the trucks, and are the correct checks being made? All the solutions that are being suggested to bring down Delhi's pollution levels, are you addressing the lowest hanging fruit and not addressing the real problem?
We as Delhi government have already, Pinky Anand ji knows it, that we as a Delhi government have already submitted our affidavit in front of Supreme Court with regards to the diesel vehicles. You can also ask from central government what affidavit did they submit in the Supreme Court regarding diesel vehicles and phasing them out after 10 years. The first thing, the regulation on trucks was suggested by Delhi government in the first budget. However, it could not be implemented due to a lot of political reasons. However, Supreme Court now said that you have to implement, and we got it implemented. There are a lot of long-term measures which are needed.
What political reasons, Saurabh?
And, you know, all these measures usually have been forced by the courts. Usually, the precedents.
No, let's talk about the trucks. You're saying there are political reasons. You took an initiative. Let's come clean. Let's come clean, because we know that the biggest pollution contributor are these trucks which are passing through Delhi. 80,000 around, let's take an average of 80,000 trucks per day in the night when they travel between 11 p.m. and 8 based on the routes that you put on 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. What I'm asking you is, who is checking on these trucks? Are they using spurious fuel? Are they plying with diesel mixed with kerosene that further pollutes the environment? How many of these trucks have been cracked down upon, and how many of these transport operators have been impounded? Their trucks confiscated and impounded. Not a fine levy. Just
None.
impound those trucks, because those
None.
trucks are all more than 10 years old. So they should not be on the road. They are anyway
Many of
zero
them, not
cost
all
to
of
the
them.
owner.
Well,
so let's just impound them, push them out of the roads, because that's the only way people will learn a lesson. You have to take some extreme measures. Are you willing to do that? Or are you saying
you
that there are
cannot
political pressures
understand.
and people with political clout who are intervening? Name them. Let's say, who are these people?
No, and not only, I would like to take it
now,
here that it is not only the trucks, it's also the old diesel jets.
Whatever hard steps have been taken by different governments.
Various hospitals.
Let Saurabh speak. Yeah.
Yes, Saurabh Bharadwaj, go ahead.
Too many people speaking together.
Yes, Saurabh.
Look, the history shows that whatever harsh measures have been taken, they have been taken on the precedents set by the Supreme Court, whether it was a case of Agra tanneries, whether it was a case of Mathura refineries, whether it was a case of implementation of CNG in 1992 in Delhi. So, usually governments shy away from pushing harsh measures because it's a democratic government and depends on the popularity. This is for the first time we are trying it, and we are getting good support from central government. I think it is a good start, and if it's successful, then at least there are so many people now, so many channels which are discussing this thing, and we are on a positive start. And I hope the pollution can be controlled, because there are a lot of long-term measures
Saurabh,
also which government is ready to
Vimlendu Jha,
implement.
how much of this is lip service and how much of this is really implemented? Because in the past also we've spoken about how there were fines which were going to be levied. For example, the Supreme Court said it would levy a pollution tax of 1,300 rupees on heavy trucks and 700 on LCVs to reduce pollution. But did that happen? It clearly did not. A ground check done was found that
so
this
that's
was
where I think our
on
politicians.
paper. And that's the worry.
Right. So that's where I think our
happened?
leaders have got the definition of governance and democracy incorrect. Because at the end of the day, good governance does not mean that you just let people breathe this bad air and drink bad quality water, right? Good governance or respect to democratic values means really respect right to life of the citizens that have actually given you a mandate to really take care of them. So across party lines, we've seen that one rule after another. So I've asked that. I've asked Sambit ji that question, that in last 1 year through Swachh Bharat, I pay Swachh Bharat tax. How Swachh has Delhi become? Tell me that as a citizen, I want to know.
Sambit Patra.
Let me come on this. See, Swachh Bharat cess, as far as the cess is concerned, I believe it's not even 1 month old. Yes, I agree that we are paying a cess on that, minimal cess on that. But to say that the government has spoken about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan since a year, and that whole country should become Swachh within a span of 1 year, would, I think, expecting too much.
You start from somewhere.
Well, yes,
your Delhi, your Banaras, all of these places are still dirty.
No, who says? Have you visited Banaras, sir? Have you visited the Assi Ghat? I think tomorrow's visual, when the Prime Minister is there with the Japan's Prime Minister, surely you would be able to see. For yourself, you would be able to see as to how the Assi Ghats and the other Ghats of Banaras have transformed. They have really transformed.
Ahead of the Prime
many
Minister's
channels,
visit,
including the Times now, have shown.
Yes,
sir, I don't agree with that. Just because the Prime Minister is visiting, the city becomes nice, and otherwise
just a second. I was not interrupting, sir. It's not that when the Prime Minister visits, the city becomes nice.
Sure.
Please, when the Prime Minister is not visiting, I would invite you to come to Banaras and see for yourself as to how the Ghats of Banaras has changed. It's not that I'm not stating something which is not true. It is the truth that I'm stating to you. As far as the philosophy of Swachh Bharat is concerned, we all have to contribute towards it positively. In Delhi, as I told, well, yes, we should not politicize pollution. It's all our duty together to fight out pollution, because these are desperate times and desperate measures are required. As far as the odd even number formula is concerned, we all have welcomed it. We stand by them. They are receiving cooperation of the central government. All we say is there should be much more preparation before the declaration. I mean, even if you ask Saurabh Bharadwaj right now, what is the complete preparation, he would be saying, wait for 25th or wait for 27th.
You know, Sambit Patra,
blueprint. I firmly believe the blueprint should have come, and thereafter the declaration should have
not
been
just
made.
that. Sir, the question is, why wait till the 1st of Jan?
Like it's about passing the buck.
See, because before I go across to Kailash Vasdev, the point I'd like to make is this is an attitudinal change that you have to bring about in the minds of the people. And it has to start from somewhere. The initiation, the straightforward question, Kailash Vasdev, people have asked. We threw open the phone lines and people called in and said, why us first? Why should it be us first? Why is it that our cars and our vehicles have to face for what others have done? Why can't they learn? Why can't they be penalized?
But
why
that's
can't
also
all
the middle
builders,
class, by the way. Please understand.
Why can't builders, the questions that have come in Kailash Vasdev, why can't builders be fined and penalized and their permits withdrawn for polluting the environment? They're saying, why can't transport companies be
I'm going to be asking the same question.
Their license be taken away, Kailash. Yeah, that's what they're asking.
75% of your pollution comes from non-fossil oils. That is to say, building activities and the like.
Yeah.
You please travel any part of Delhi and you will find the roads are dug up. It's like a graveyard city. The whole area is dug up. The dust is blown all over the place. Courts have issued directions to cover up the trenches on the roads. Nothing has happened. On the contrary, now the PWD has come up with a fantastic theory. You're permitted to dump your debris or your malba on the roadsides for the purposes of being converted into construction activity. Go on to the Nelson Mandela Marg, you will find PWD boards all over saying, please dump your malba here. That's not an answer because that malba is going to fly into your face when vehicles go past.
Exactly.
There is absolutely
so, Saurabh Bharadwaj, will you answer that? Will you crack down on the builders' lobby and the transporters' lobby, or are they very strong lobbies and not really worth cracking down?
I have another point to make here. On your roads in Delhi, there is no connectivity of a sensible nature. 2 lanes, 4 lanes, 6 lanes convert into one another. Your idling time of vehicles increases by almost 100% at any given intersection. You're going to add to pollution because there is no planning in the city. Everybody sitting on the desks is a very brilliant man because
not to forget the last mile connectivity. There is absolutely no last mile connectivity. There are in fact pockets. In fact, Saurabh stays in that area near CR Park where basically rickshaws are banned. How can we ban a non-polluting rickshaw, which is a last mile connectivity for various people who are old, who are women, who are wearing a sari or whatever, who cannot walk 1 kilometer?
There is no free flow of traffic.
All right, so two points raised there. Ultimately, by Mr. Kailash Vasdev and Partha respectively. Can we get a quick response from Saurabh before we go across to Shamishha Mukherjee?
I want to say that, whatever measures have been taken in this country till now for pollution, whether they are harsh or not, they have been taken by Supreme Court, okay, and on the orders of the Supreme Court. This is the first time we have started a new approach towards such things, and I think everybody is cooperating into it. Everybody should welcome it. Yes, there may be 500 different reasons where we are getting pollution from, but we have to start from somewhere, and it cannot be like why don't you do this first, why don't you do this first? You have to start somewhere.
You are going to crack down on the four-wheeler owners, the diesel
No, I think it has come many times in the courts that the biggest...
The people who are in the builders' lobby, the transporters, why are they not being addressed?
Yes. No, I think for trucks,
Padmaja,
it has already
add one thing here to your statement.
That there should be a congestion test on the trucks.
Yes, wait. I think
regarding diesel thing also, we have given a very clear affidavit in the Supreme Court that we are ready to obey.
Okay, Pinky Anand.
With respect to the diesel vehicles,
I just wanted to add one thing that everybody has been talking about how vehicular pollution is about 25%. There is almost no dispute on that proposition. But what nobody is seeming to notice is there are orders of the courts. Forget for a minute what governments have done or not done, but there are orders of the NGT and orders of the Supreme Court regarding construction activity, regarding waste burning, regarding crop burning. The problem really lies in the fact that these issues are not being implemented. That is one of the serious problems. Again, on the fuel part of it, BS4 has been introduced in North India principally, but you are having other fuels which are available across the borders, and therefore old trucks and diesel trucks with also adulterated fuels are coming across. We have to tackle each of these solutions, but it doesn't seem to be a complete policy which is coming forth on its own. No, Today's time, as I said, there are 3 issues: short term, medium term and long term. Short term, immediate emergency steps have to be taken, whatever the best ones possible are, and one of those, for example, was a diversion of the trucks, which was an immediate step. You may say it is not enough, but it was a substantial step taken, and I dare say it would have some major good step for Delhi. The second step which the court has taken today, for example, is immediate ban of diesel for the time being as an interim measure, and believe me, please rest assured it's an interim measure, and the court will hear the issue further. There is question on the medium term. There is question on the medium term of other kind of fuels, as I mentioned earlier. Also, for example, e-rickshaws have been introduced. So there is an entire system, but it has to put its place together.
May I come in for a minute?
The Delhi people cannot suffer.
Pinky Anand,
may I come in here for a minute?
If you have allowed yourself to go to an extreme situation where your particle matter is 2.5,
it doesn't matter
more than
today.
so why not take extreme steps? I'm saying, do you need the courts to say? Do you need the courts? My question, ma'am, is: do you need the honourable courts to say that no construction activity for the next 90 days? Do you need the honourable courts to say that no purchase, no sale of any new vehicle on the roads for the next 90 days, even two-wheelers? I'm saying no, and also immediately crack down on those who are not pulling up these trucks. You know, you have to work on the implementation.
May I say one thing? May I respond?
Yes.
May I respond? To say this much, that we can't keep talking about what is possible. Today what has happened is, and forget the reason it's happened. Today we are in a chaos, it is there. We are in a death trap, we are. There is dust on the road, Delhi is totally besotted, yes it is. So question is, what do you do? Do you wait and say, you are wrong, or you should do this? I don't think that's the way out. The ultimate way is move forward and to go with some of the policies which can be best adopted for the timing to discreet. Take action otherwise, nobody is stopping that. But if that doesn't happen, courts will act to implement coercively, because we do need coercive implementation of certain
But the fact is, why wait for the courts to act? Why wait for the courts to act?
May I come in here?
Why wait or why not wait is not the question.
My answer, my simple question to you is, why can't governments act? We have a government in Delhi which is coming with a huge majority.
Ask Delhi government why they haven't acted. I'm afraid you have to ask at that stage.
No, please. My next question to you is,
I can't answer for Delhi government.
No.
I can't answer for Delhi government.
No, I'm asking you from the central government. I'm now asking you for the central government. Delhi has now got the national capital region. Yes. That means to say the bordering areas of Haryana, Rajasthan, UP are all a part of the NCR. What are the plans of the central government for the purposes of getting rid of pollution in these areas? You have an NCR planning area. You have an NCR Act. You have all sorts of planning authorities.
Kailash, you want answers?
So someone should...
Kailash, you want answers?
Yes. Someone should do something about it.
There are answers, and some of which were... Yes, thank you. So now you were informed. I don't know if you did take that into mind. When you're taking with pollution, the various kinds of mechanisms which have adopted, the policies that have come into place, the experimentation project, for example, on pilots, the policy on scrapping, all these issues are on way. But you can't implement them like the even odd numbers on an overnight kind of basis. They can't go into place like that. They are there.
I'm not asking for an even odd number. I'm asking you for simple
e-rickshaws. No. I'm sorry. Kailash, you asked a question of how, so one is just answering that. I'm not saying that you are asking me this question. So the question is, how do you do it?
I'm going one step further to the how.
This is the way in which it is being done. You are having, for example, it's not, the question is not only the way it is asked. The question, Kailash, is not that. The question is, you are having various kind of policies and programs to try to improve the situation on a long term. For example, let me answer you one more question. Eastern Peripheral Highway, that is under construction and at a super speed, and is expected to be done, but it will take some time. It will take a little over a year.
6 years.
So the question, the question is not what happened earlier. Kailash, go from now.
Actually,
please.
Isn't that the highway
to do that position, because you can't.
I'm going from now. I'm going for.
Maybe running. It has done earlier, but today it is on target, and it is running on the target. The question, past year and a half, ask again. You'll have to ask certain positions.
What about
Why don't you go from here?
You do. Kailash Vasdev and Pinky Anand.
I'm going from here. I'm accepting what you're saying. I'm saying that why can't you implement it?
There is another straightforward question.
We are
going across to Sharmistha Mukherjee and asking this. You know, the Delhi High Court passed an adverse note and raised alarm bells on Delhi becoming a gas chamber. The first thing that was said is odd even formula, get lesser cars on the road. The Supreme Court of India has also passed a rule on tinted glasses. Sharmistha Mukherjee, Parliament is in session. How many MPs have said, let's start from right now? Why wait till the 1st of January? Let's start by making an example to Delhi. This is the city that we live in. How many of them have started carpooling? How many of them who can actually walk to Parliament have started walking to Parliament?
Can I ask you a simple situation?
I'm saying, if that is not, the elected representatives don't have the attitude of now, why should the Aam Aadmi have the attitude of why?
Parliament across the party, they should definitely consider that. And I would also like to add another point,
one is that
the pollution in Delhi is not just because of the contributors in Delhi. it concerns the neighboring states. So it is extremely important and it is imperative that the government of Delhi and the government of neighboring states and the central government, they all work together to tackle this issue. Because I lost out a lot on the debate because of the audio issue. I don't even know whether I was there or not. But we are just only talking about the vehicular pollution, but what about the crop burning? A major element which contributes to the pollution of Delhi is burning of the crop in the neighboring states. So we should really tackle that, and for that you need to have a comprehensive and cohesive dialogive with the
it's wonderful that we see all the three political parties
I want to answer this,
debate
if I'm
tonight.
permitted.
Look into the issue. Give this show of unity, and they're saying let's all work together, tackle pollution. But the fact of the matter remains that the data available right now suggests that each of the parties has in some time or the other been responsible of doing absolutely nothing except pay lip service to this very idea. So is this where it is going to end? That you're going to have the courts cracking down, then you're going to announce a slew of measures, zero implementation, and the air quality will become much worse, and which is why we're in the state that we are in right now. In fact, we're going to head into a very quick break, and that's the point on which we're going to return on the other side. How can we learn from the past to ensure that the mistakes are not repeated in the future?
Back on the debate, and let's go straight across to Dr. Sambit Patra and say, when will they go beyond lip service? When will they go beyond punchlines and really start making a difference on ground? Let's take Parliament for example. Like I said, Dr. Patra, 542 MPs at an average of 1,500 cars. Can you bring that down to 300? That will be leading by example, sir. If it's cars that are problem.
Let me in fact remind you. Okay, are you done? Let me remind you of the pictures, in fact, which are flashing across the newspapers nowadays when the Parliament is in session. Two of our Member of Parliament, Mr. Meghwal and another parliamentarian, they have been travelling to the Parliament on their bicycle, and Mr. Padmaja, who visits Parliament quite frequently, would in fact be
Actually, I think the other
this is the beginning, as you said. Why not begin? At least we have other politicians on the panel. Let them throw such examples. We have other politicians on the panel. Let them throw such examples. I have given two examples where every day it's not that this
I thought all political parties were united and there was no politicking going on
their bicycle.
No
Many will follow suit. So let them.
The other, that's what the basic level ground that you said, that all political parties were united against pollution. So why divide it in terms of the MPs? Which party and whichever party? I am saying 2 out of 540 is not a big number.
Let them all come on cycles.
I'm saying
you asked me as a BJP spokesperson. I replied you as a BJP spokesperson.
Please, Dr. Patra, please understand. Sharmistha, please understand. Saurabh Bharadwaj, please understand that the effort is not to make light of the issue. The effort is to try and tell you, sir, this attitudinal change can be shifted only from leadership. From the top, you have to actually walk the talk to show to the people of Delhi that it's not for you, it's for all of us.
Also take a bicycle to the studio.
I am happy to do so, sir. I am happy to do so. I am happy to do so, sir.
And then you just throw the example.
I am happy to do so. But the fact is, you are the elected representative. Your party has elected representatives.
I don't know about
public opinion. So we are asking you
on a serious note.
We are asking you, will you lead from the front beyond lip service?
On a serious note.
Fighting pollution is just not
Mr. Patra, here I want to come in on a serious front.
It has to be far more concrete than that.
Let's start with these baby steps.
Mr. Patra, I want to come in on a serious note.
Yes, Mr. Vasudev. Just a second, sir. On a serious note, let me reply a few things to the central government, because many of the spokespersons right now pointed out that since Delhi has NCR region and there are other states which have boundaries with Delhi, so has there been any meeting between these states? Well, yes. Let me state out. 3 review meetings have taken place between the ministers of Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, along with municipal bodies and police. 3 review meetings have already taken place. Prakash Javadekar, in fact, was the one who was leading the meeting. Secondly, what else? Just a second, sir. You asked me a question. Let me please allow me to reply the question. Number 2. The decisions that were taken in the meeting was A, stopping of burning of grasses and stubble and the bio-waste products. And you would remember, to this effect, none other than the Prime Minister himself spoke through Man Ki Baat. that आप लोग किसानों से निवेदन है कि वो वहाँ जलाएं नहीं,
been a timeline set, Dr.
वो
Patra?
उसको मैन्योर बनाने की कोशिश करें.
Because meetings and announcements are plenty. What are the timelines?
No, I have data also. I have data also. I have data as well. If you want me, if you give me time, I'll corroborate my deliveries with data. The stubble burning has decreased in the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, the government has taken steps.
I'm not interested in your data.
For that, you have the Aam Aadmi Party.
Because at the end of the day, if in last 1 year,
I'm answering you. I'm answering the question that has been raised in this forum.
Right. I will ask the same set of questions to them. Please understand that we are not interested in file notings. I'm interested in the good quality air. I'm not interested in how many meetings have you actually had in last 1 year.
If you don't believe in the statistics,
at the end of the day,
and you call them file noting, I cannot help that.
Statistics of air or statistics of meetings?
According to your data, pollution should have come down, but it hasn't come down. It has gone up. So obviously something is wrong with your data.
My interest is not in looking at how many times.
With all due regard, you should speak the least today, because we are not speaking about
Dr. Patra, Sharmistha and Vimlendu. Just allow Kailash Vasdev 30 seconds, please.
I'm not giving an opportunity,
can you calm down
and I
a bit?
don't like to burgeon into other people's conversation.
Right. Sharmistha, 1 second. Yes, Mr. Vasudev, you wanted to intervene. What's the point you wanted to make?
I see, what I was saying was, you are right in saying, Mr. Patra, that there have been meetings of the authorities of the 4 states, including the central government. Those meetings took place in April and July of this year. Those have been a part of the court records and proceedings. My question to you is very simply this. You have the NCR Planning Board. The NCR Planning Board has not met over the past few years. It met once to give a plan, because it is that which prepares the master plans for the areas around this area. If you don't have a master plan which is going to protect areas, your particular design on the National Action Plan for the Climate is going to get affected. If that gets affected, you are not going to get rid of pollution, because that is where the core issues are being addressed, because that is where the situation is carbon control.
Absolutely.
I would like to request you, I cannot say anything else as a citizen, but put yourselves together, get these things on the long term and the short term going immediately. Otherwise, this pollution is going to extend right from here all the way up to Dehradun on one side, Jaipur on the other, and Chandigarh on the other.
Yes, Dr. Patra, please answer that.
You see,
yes, I want
you are dealing with a limited area. Please look at the whole thing in a holocraustic system.
Yes, you have made a very pertinent point, and as a politician, we have to answer this question. Number one, as far as planning of a mega city like Delhi or the NCR region is concerned, no doubt that planning and execution is of absolute importance. But let me, in a very oblique way, suggest that there are politics involved in this as well. And in this, let me cite an example, a recent example. There is a place in Delhi called as Rangapuri. Just a second, sir. There is a place in Delhi called as Rangapuri. It was meant for afforestation, and it had trees planted. Recently, the Aam Aadmi Party MLA got that deforested, and it got a kind of settlement out there, which was ordered by the court for demolition. DDA officials reached there for demolition, but you all are aware, in fact, the news was out that the demolition was stopped by the Aam Aadmi Party MLA there, and they said that you cannot do this, even if it was meant for afforestation.
Let me get Saurabh Bharadwaj in on this. Saurabh Bharadwaj, at the end of the day, what it boils down to is, there are great plans that look lovely on paper, but their implementation comes to zilch simply because the politics scuttles it. Are you going to assure today that that is not going to happen? For example, the Rangpuri example stated by Sambit Patra.
When Sambit Patra started, I thought he is talking very sensible things now, that we should not engage politics and all those things.
Okay, now that I've got you, I'm insensible.
He has again started, all this. I don't want to get into all this. I want to say, no, you look, if I want to catch you, I'll ask you what affidavits did you give in the Supreme Court regarding diesel vehicles. Sambit Patra, I don't want to catch you. I am here to work to reduce pollution. We are talking cooperation. If you want to talk these dirty things, we can talk. We can talk all these things.
This is not dirty things, sir. This is a practical problem.
Allow him to complete. Please allow him to complete. He didn't intervene when you made your point.
By Mr. Kailash, and I answered that.
He didn't intervene when you made your point. Let Saurabh complete. Yes, Saurabh.
Yes, sorry. Please go ahead. Sorry.
So what we are talking is, yes, there is a plan. We have started it. We are getting cooperation from central government. We hope things are good. And you know, this is just a short-term emergency.
All right, just we are getting the concluding arguments.
Should cooperate with each other, and it's a good.
Sorry, Saurabh, please complete your point because I thought we'd lost your signal. Please complete your point quickly.
No, it's a good thing, and it's very good that media channels are discussing it day in and day out. So it's bringing a lot of awareness among the people.
All right. So, you know, like Pinky Anand said, and I think that's the most important point of all, there have to be short, medium and long-term measures announced, and not just announced, but also implemented. And before we wrap up this entire debate, just a thought to leave all of our viewers with. The fact remains that be it the Congress, BJP or Aam Aadmi Party, as per a planning department report, as of June 2015, 87% of the funds collected by the Delhi government over a 7-year period to fight air pollution, total funds of 385 crore rupees had been unspent. Yes. That really is the sincerity of implementation of all of these schemes. We hope this time around they will be more serious about it. For the time being, thank you very much, Sharmistha Mukherjee, Pinky Anand and all gentlemen for joining us on debate number 1.